Hello rail fans, it's good to have you on with us. And the train that's sitting still is actually a train that I thought we saw the day before over on the Brunswick sub that goes they're doing a lot of work, and that train has several cars loaded with the ribbon rail. That's those real long pieces of rail and track. And the day before we saw them actually doing that on that sub that goes towards Brunswick. And when we pulled up here, we happened to see that train sitting there, and we waited probably about 30 or 40 minutes to see if they might get the okay to come into the yard. But in the meantime, we saw a pair of lights way down the track, and lo and behold, in rolls 5115. And I found out my scanner didn't have all the codes that I needed in it, and so as we happened to be sitting here, a place that we'd found about 2 weeks earlier, happened to see the conductor be able to get off the train there, and then they move on into the yard. They had permission. They actually had a medium approach light that we happened to see change, and so this train will take and pull on up, and we'll get to see something that I don't normally get to see, and that is the conductor actually get to brake the train. Clouds that were building up that day, the weather service had said there was a low pressure system between Brunswick and Jacksonville off the coast on the Atlantic that was forming a low pressure center that could possibly develop into a tropical storm. And so we had a lot of heavy low clouds, but South Georgia has had lots of rain this year, but like it always does, that rain stopped about 3 weeks ago, and you can believe it, it's dry as tinder out here. And this particular day it was about 96 degrees, 97 degrees. And so I really feel for these guys that work on this railroad, because I've never been around railroads that it wasn't hot, and something about the metal, the steel, the cars, and the rocks just seem to captivate that heat. There was a lot of different kind of cars on this particular train. The thing that caught my eye was those gondolas that was full of shredded scrap metal. That looked pretty interesting. And then these covered container cars here. Those are really neat too. Most of the time they haul rolled metal in those to protect it from the elements while they're transporting it. But you name it, there was about every car that's designed to be on the railroad was on this train before they split it. I did, for time's sake, did remove some of the video simply because it was just a slow passing train, and I know how it is to sit here, and I love trains, but then there is times when it's we like action, we like fast, high rolling action. So anyway, what we got to see was the conductor was standing on the other side, and I noticed he was calling back. We could hear him calling back how many cars he had left before they would stop it. And so I wasn't sure exactly what was going to happen, but I was sure interested to see exactly what was going to go on when they did stop this train at the point he wanted to stop it. I did realize after I started editing that I had my camera on the minus decibels that we usually shoot videos with because of the horn noise, and so I apologize that you don't hear too much of the actual train action going on. I noticed the conductor walked 2 cars back and set the handbrake, and he's going to come over on this side too, and he'll set the brake on this side, and then they'll go through a little test or two before they actually get ready to unhook this train from these cars from the rest of the train. The ratchet style brakes, to be able to take and tighten up the brakes on these ratchet style, that looks to me a lot easier than it would be to turn one of those handle wheels. That doesn't look like it gives you that much leverage, but these actually do pretty good. The conductor is now ready to set the air valves to close, but has to call in the 3-step protection, and when he gets that 3-step protection, he will go in there and actually set those valves, and then he'll take and get ready to do a pipe test. He happened to see us over there with a video camera in the back of the truck, and it was pretty neat to be able to see these guys do this stuff that you don't get to see most of the time. Well, the brake airline pressure test has passed. He's now calling for the engineer to go ahead and pull up and go ahead, and he has the coupler uncoupled in his left hand, has that lever pulled out. He'll watch, and you can't see it on the video because I kept the video trained on him, but you could actually see the cars as the couplers take out the slack, and you'll see it as he moves forward that it'll separate that airline. They have the air cut off to the back of the train and onto the front of the train, has those closed, and so that way it doesn't take time to pump those back up when they reconnect. Yep, a lot of pressure, and it sounded like a gunshot, but I thought that was pretty neat to see. Now what happened is he went on into the yard to drop these cars, and we were hoping that he would be back before too long, but we had not had lunch yet, and it was getting pretty close to about 2 o'clock whenever he had not come back yet. So we'd waited about 30 minutes, and so we decided to go ahead on. The conductor said he would see him when he got back, so we didn't know how long that would take, so we decided to just go eat. And we went down to New Beijing Buffet, a very good Chinese place there on Folkestone Highway. When we got back, here he was. They were back. He had dropped the cars, and the only thing I really hate is we didn't get to see him actually hook up the engines back to the rest of this train. We were glad though that he was still sitting there, and like I say, this is just things you don't get a chance to see. Rice Yard is actually straight ahead of us. You can see an overpass with cars going on it. When they go under this, they either make the sweep around to the left and go into the yard, or they can go straight, which would take them onto the Fitzgerald sub, or they can make the sweep to the right. It would actually take them to the line that goes, I don't know what they call that sub, but it would go to Brunswick. And a lot of these trains now, since they put the spur, actually are running them that way to go to Nahunta, and then they catch that track that puts them on that set of tracks that goes up to Jessup. So they've been able to create a double track without it being side by side. Now they can have north-south traffic running either way. We figured this train would either go from here, from Waycross to Valdosta, then on up to Montgomery that way, or possibly go through the Fitzgerald sub and go up through Cordele and on to points north. On the way home we didn't see him, so we made the assumption that he went through the Cordele Fitzgerald sub. It was good to see some action here. About a week or two previous, we were at the same spot. We actually found this area and we drove around the road to get down to that next crossing, but by the time we got around there was a train already coming by here. I found out that my scanner didn't have all the codes I needed in it, so as we got home and doing this editing, my scanner now has every rail code that's out there available, and we're going to work on a new antenna for the truck, and we're going to see if we can't get a little better reception than we've been getting. But I wondered why my scanner was silent sometimes out there, and I found some information on the web that was helpful, and so I've got 97 channels now that's on there with every rail frequency that they've allowed them to have. So we do appreciate you watching these videos. Please share them. We're not stingy. We want people to enjoy it. If you know somebody that has kids, grandkids, or if they like trains, just tell them about Trains by Ben, and it's certainly be appreciated. Like and subscribe. It does help these videos to get out before more of the people, and we do appreciate you. With all that said, we'll see you out here the next time. Until then, see you.